Well, good afternoon, everybody. Darren Saul here, your host of Playing with Perspective, the Suspended Animation Podcast, episode 112, with the lovely Cindy Shames. How are you, Cindy?
Yay! Hi, so nice to be here, everyone. 112, that's really good.
Yeah, we're climbing. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And for all the audience out there, we've got a great show today, all about building your business takes more than just knowledge, with Cindy Shames, the business and mindset coach and motivational speaker. Cindy supports passionate women start, grow, and scale their businesses with personal, actionable steps every week so they see results and growth. I suppose that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's no use doing everything and not seeing the results.
Yeah, that's why I call myself a results coach, because that's what everyone wants. You want the results.
Absolutely. We don't care how we get there, just give me the results. But it's important to know how to get there.
Yes, we do.
And the work that we have to do to get there. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But Cindy, welcome to the show. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. And I thought it'd be great to start with your story and maybe tell everybody how you became a business and mindset and results coach. Tell us the story.
Oh, right. Okay, this is crazy. So I guess when I was a little girl, as little girls do, I always wanted to go to Hollywood. I always wanted to be a film star. And I thought, okay, I'm definitely going to be a film star. And then when that didn't happen, I thought, I'm going to marry a prince and be a princess, because I wanted to do that, right?
Yeah.
And then I found myself, was about 15 years ago, living in LA and loving being in LA. We kind of relocated to LA, and my kids were brought up in LA. And I had amazing opportunities to meet A-list celebrities, to work with people like the Oprah's team. I worked with the Elton John Foundation. I worked with Miss Universe, and I did some work for Gabby Bernstein. And I was really thinking, how did this all happen? Like, how did I create all this? Yeah. And I really believe that it was mindset. It was really wanting this so much ever since I was a little girl, to work with big brands, to learn about being and making a profitable business. Yep. And I believe that I was super lucky to be able to create all that. But in creating that, I thought, okay, if I can do this, I want to teach other people how to do this. And I realized that it's not just about business knowledge, because I've done business school courses, and I've been on Google University, and I've done all of that stuff. But I really do believe that it is the mindset behind all that creates the results. So that's
so true.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Like, more and more I'm learning that it all starts here. Like, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. And as soon as you set your mind to it, you start seeing those opportunities that you never thought you'd see, or that you never noticed before. And before you know it, they start coming to fruition. But you've got to be ready for it here. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. So I found myself, I actually applied at UCLA to get a bursary, or I think it's a grant to get certified through UCLA. And I was able to, I won one of the places to go, and I did my coaching application, or my coaching certificate, through UCLA, which was phenomenal, because they made us work with homeless people and just so many different diverse people. So we just learned so much about, what's out there. The possibilities are endless. So it was really great.
Love it. That's awesome. And do you specialize mostly working with women, or do you work with everybody?
It's funny, because I think women attract women for some reason. I'm super happy to work with everybody, but up until now, all my clients have been females. They've all been women entrepreneurs. Most of them are women entrepreneurs or stay-at-home moms that are creating businesses. Nice. Especially now, people moving their businesses from the big brick and mortar to online because of, us being in this pandemic and the change. So yeah, I think mostly it's women starting and scaling businesses.
Yeah, perfect. Fantastic. Well, I mean, look, nowadays, building a business, whether it's a small business, a side hustle, your main business, it's competitive. There's lots to think about. A lot of people who've never done it before don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people? What are some of the things that they should think about and reflect on before they start setting up a business? And obviously you mentioned it all starts here.
It does all start here. And once you have an idea and you really feel like that is what you want to do, but I do feel like business is a roller coaster. No matter what business you're in, no matter how much backing, financial backing or whatever backing you have, it's always going to be a roller coaster ride. So I always encourage my clients when they come to me with ideas to really be passionate about what you're doing, because when you hit those, the kind of the dumps in the business, and things are very challenging, which they are, when you go back to your passion and why you are doing what you're doing, and you know why you're doing what you're doing, it gets you through all of that. So it definitely is your why is huge. So anyone listening to this going into business, know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing?
I love that.
What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve from this? What is your result? And once you have that and you're strong on that and you hold that, it gets you through everything.
I love that. That's so great, because it's so true. You go through, different phases in business. It's busy, then it's quiet. Then, you go through a point sometimes where you think everything's falling apart. You say, what's going on? But then you ask yourself, am I loving what I do? Do I really enjoy this? And if the answer is yes, you say, well, I'm just going to do it because I've got nothing else that I want to do, and I'll make it happen. And it turns in the right direction again.
Absolutely.
So true.
Yeah, and it does. Once you do have that why, and you can come back to that why. Yep. And I talk to my clients a lot about this when they do have, like, I speak to them once a week, and then I'm with them every day. Like, they have unlimited email support with me. And so whenever they're having a difficult moment or a challenge, we always say, you know why you're doing this. You know what your result is. You know what you want to do. And that just kind of gives them a little bit of an injection to go, okay, let's do this. We can do this. I know why I'm doing this. And so I do feel like, don't go into business just because you feel like, you've got that product, because it's not sustainable. So, and for me, it's always about creating results over and over and over again, and creating a business that is sustainable, not just a year business that's just not going to be able to, see you through.
Now I'm going to drill even further, and I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
What happens if people come to you and they say, oh, look, I'm not sure what I love. I'm not sure why I do anything. Where do I start? Well, I don't even know what I enjoy. What do you tell them?
Oh, good question. Okay, I like that one. Well, we go into what are you passionate about? So I always ask questions. What are you passionate about? What can you do that is authentic to you that you can share with others? Even if that's making tea. Yep. How do you make your tea? What do you do that's special to you that you can share with the world? Everyone's got something that they do that they can share with other people. And it's amazing and it's always asking questions. And I will ask questions and say, okay, but why is so great? Always, when you writing things down, anyone listening to this, ask yourself why. Why is it that people like my tea? Why is it that I can promote this?
Yep.
And it could be, as I say, it could be anything ranging from a tea to a massive business. But once you know your why, that's how you can actually find out what you want to do that can set you up to be successful.
Perfect. So it's really about taking analysis of who you are, what you're good at, and maybe finding the cross section between what you're good at and what you can market.
Absolutely. And marketing comes after that. So once you know what you're good at, the marketing will follow. But and everybody has got some hidden talent that they've got that they don't realize that they have.
Absolutely.
And once we start asking questions, it's amazing how they go, oh yeah, I love doing that. And when you love doing something, at school, right? If you love a subject at school, you do well in it. Yes. And if you don't do well in it. No. So once you love doing something, you're already on to something that really could create a profitable business or a good idea anyway.
And as you say, I think there's probably a few things that everybody loves to do, but they don't even think about it. There's probably a couple of things that everybody can do that they do really well, better than most people. Yeah. And it's just about finding out what's going to be the most viable for this as a business.
Absolutely. And that's when you go into your Facebook groups and you start doing research and you're putting your ideas out there and you really, so I really make sure that when you're starting off a business, we do all our groundwork before we put you out there. So you go in there and you see who'd be interested in this idea. What are they interested in? Why do they like this idea? So really do a lot of research before you put too much time and effort into something that you don't know is going to be, received well.
Okay, perfect. Now, before I get into discovering more about your process and how you actually work, what about the day-to-day strategies and activities that someone has to do and execute every day to make sure their business thrives? Apart from having the mindset, there's got to be some steps that people have got to put in place physically every single day to make sure that business grows. So tell us a bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, I was talking to Darren before we started, and it is absolutely mindset and business. They gel together. You can't have the business side without the mindset. So I always encourage my clients to journal if they can. I'm not a big journal person, but I do like to write things down. So in the morning, even if you can just, I'm very results driven. So what is your result for the day? What are you going to create today?
Yep.
And then we work back to see how we're going to create that result. And I do that with daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly, because that's how you're going to achieve your results. So absolutely, we write down that. And then it's knowing who you're marketing to, knowing who your audience is, who your ideal customer is, and then reaching them every single day with consistency.
Yep.
So whether you're doing it on LinkedIn, whether you're doing it on Facebook, Instagram, whatever that is, you need to be out there being authentic, creating relationships with people, and getting that know, like, and trust factor, which is so important for people. Yeah. To want to work with you, to want to learn more about you, to see how you can change their lives or make things easier for them. And that's a consistent thing that you've got to do every single day.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, I mean, if you can do it 5 days a week, I encourage my clients to. Some people are working and this is their side hustle, but as much as you can possibly do to create that authenticity on an ongoing basis.
I 100% agree. I'm super passionate about marketing, and consistency is absolutely the cornerstone of a good marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Especially these days, there's so much noise out there everywhere in every platform, both social media and other platforms.
I agree.
You have to stand out, and you have to, as you say, earn that trust, and people get to know you and like you through your content. But if you do it once a week or once a month, you're just going to fall away. Nobody's even going to see it.
I love that you use the word earn that trust. And I feel like that's so important, because it is such a crazy saturated market out there. Everyone's doing the same thing, especially now this year. Facebook, because I'm very, I'm quite visual on Facebook, and it's just become like a saturated market. So what can you do for people? What can you offer them that can genuinely help them change their lives or make a difference? And that's what you've got to really think about, because it's not just about putting myself out there and choose me because I'm just another coach. It's what I can do for you that can really make a difference.
Exactly. And I suppose that boils down to what we were talking about before, about really understanding where your strength is and where your target market is. So you can tailor what you do to that particular niche, because that's who you're going to be able to help.
Absolutely. And then I work with my clients on their message.
Nice.
How do you get that message out there?
Okay.
So you have to, there's so many little parts that kind of all go together, but how do you actually talk to your clients, your ideal client? How do you actually get them to listen to you? How do you get them to stop the scroll, which is really what we need.
Stop the scroll. I love that. What a great phrase. Stop the scroll. That's great. So let's get into that, actually. I mean, let's take a little step back and explain to us how you actually work with your clients. If I came to you, if I was a woman.
No, you can come to me as a man. That's fine.
And I came to you and I said, all right, Cindy, I need help building my business. Walk me through your process.
So we would sit down first of all, and we would really look at what your idea is. Ask you a whole lot of questions: why you're doing what you're doing, your passion, how you're doing. I look at everything. So basically, I'm across the board coach because my background is in illustration. I was an illustrator before I became a coach and a graphic designer. So I have a very sharp eye for design, and so I will look at then your logo, your design, your company, what you're doing. Is it all authentic? Does it all speak of what you're doing? When people land on there, is it some individual
on brand, as they say, on brand?
Is it on brand? Exactly. I will look at your website. We make sure that's converting properly, that your message is across it, that you've got all your touch points on your website, because it's all very well having a beautifully put together website. But if people don't know how to contact you or how to get hold of you, or it's not easy for them, we got to make things super easy for people. So I look at all of those things. We look at all of those things. If you don't have those things in place, I will work with you to put them in place. Your email list, growing an email list, your visibility on, as we spoke about before, your visibility on social media. And all depends on what you are. One of my clients is, she sells handbags, upmarket handbags in New York. And for her, she grew exponentially on Pinterest. She wasn't on Pinterest prior to working with me. We got her on Pinterest and she just took off. So it really depends on, it's amazing. It depends on what you're selling, finding your ideal customer and then going for it. So yeah, I look at pretty much everything. And then also coming back to mindset, believing in yourself, believing it is possible, because I can give you all this business knowledge.
Yeah.
You've got to go away and create that. And so I really encourage that possibility, believing in possibility. You've done it before, you can do it again, or someone's done it, so it is possible to do it.
I love that. So true. Because people will say, oh, I've never done anything like this. But if someone has done it before, why can't you do it as well?
Yeah, it is
We
possible.
all can do it.
Yeah. And I love if you can decide that you want this to work, no matter what, you're going to go in, no matter how hard that is. I remember when I did my first Facebook Live, I was so nervous. Now I'm like, wherever I am. Yeah, it always, and that's growth. Every time you feel nervous about doing something or something becomes difficult, that's where the growth happens.
So true. Like they say, when you're uncomfortable, that's when you grow.
Yeah. And I love that, because even with me, I mean, we're all growing, but every time I feel uncomfortable doing something, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm growing. This is good.
That's good. Absolutely. And then once you've done all that initial part of the process, how do you maintain that relationship, and how do your clients stay with you over time?
Okay. So I work with clients predominantly 3 and 6 month packages. So we do 3 months or 6 month packages. I don't do anything less than that, because I feel like, talking about growth, you need the time to grow.
Sure.
I speak to them once a week. They have unlimited email support with me.
Yep.
But we set goals for every single week. So we make sure that every single week we are doing something to achieve our goal, but we also work back. So if it's a 3-month goal, we then work back to, what do we want to achieve in 3 months? How many clients do we want to get? Okay. How many clients do we need to get every month? How many clients do we need to get every week to achieve that goal? And what are we going to do to get that goal so that it is going to happen?
Exactly. So as I say, you reverse engineer it.
We reverse
Whatever
engineer.
you want to do, you have to make sure, well, what are the steps to get there?
Right.
What do I need to do even personally to grow, or to acquire skills, or to get experience or knowledge to make sure that I can get there?
Absolutely. And I'm always forecasting. We're always looking forward. We're always planning forward. At the moment, we're looking at Black Friday. We're looking at Christmas. So we're always looking at what's coming up and how we can use those holidays and incorporate that into our business to really, ramp up sales.
Love it. Perfect. Now, the audience loves stories, and I love stories. So have you got a couple of examples or case studies, obviously without mentioning any names, but maybe some examples of people that you've coached over 3, 6 months or 12 months, and you've made incredible changes in their business and in their confidence as well?
Oh, okay. All right. I don't want to be bragging, but this was a pretty cool, this is an amazing thing. So this woman reached out to me. She found me on Facebook, and she reached out to me, and I always consult first to make sure that you get to know me, because it's a relationship. So I want to know that you're happy to work with me. You like my style. Every coach is different. And also to make sure that I'm working with a person who is coachable and who is going to get results, because that's what I want to be able to do, is get results for that person. So we had a free consult, and I do give a lot of support on my consult. I give a lot of advice, and she came to me, and I looked at her marketing, and I gave her some actionable tools to do on her marketing. And she then went out and literally within 24 hours did exactly what I said, and increased her sales by 30% in one day, which was phenomenal. And then she called me back and she said to me, okay, look, I cannot believe this. I've never created this. I got more sales in 24 hours doing what you did and what you said. And she landed up working with me. So that was huge. I mean, that was just, I was just very lucky. I was working with a woman and I worked with her. We worked for 6 months. She was phenomenal. Whatever I told her to do, she would do more than what I told her to do. So her results were brilliant. So I can give you the knowledge, but it's also you implementing what I say. And she was just really out there doing, I mean, she didn't want to do any Facebook Live. She didn't want to go on any lives at all. Now every time I'm on Facebook or Instagram, I see her. She's just incredible. So yeah, the results are definitely out there.
And it sounds like that obviously you are very passionate about using social media and all the platforms around to get your message out there. Is that where you think the most attention is these days, or do you like to give advice on some other strategies as well?
Darren, I feel like now, with the new normal, with this new world that we're in, So because we can't get out as much, I mean, I think networking is invaluable and I do love networking, but your reach on social media is so far wider. I like from, or if that you can say that, it doesn't sound like
No,
it
I
wider,
do.
but it is wider. And like for me, I have a lot of American clients because you can talk to people all over the world.
Yep.
So I do tend to use social media. And I think that that's a great way to put yourself out there because, as I say, it's just you have an unlimited audience.
Definitely. And it's relatively free.
Yeah, and you can, I'm very mindful of people's budget. So you can do it the free route. Obviously, if you're going to be paying for Facebook ads, your reach is so much better. And if you want to do that, that's fantastic. And your growth will be significantly more. But you can do it the organic way if you want to.
Definitely. Like I'm an advocate of doing as much as you can organically and then just supplementing a little bit with a little bit of ad spend in the places that you think will give you the biggest bang for your buck.
I love that.
You can also go a little bit crazy, especially when you're starting. You can spend a lot of money if you start doing split testing and
Right.
million varieties of the same thing to see what works. Before you know it, your spend can actually escalate very, very high. So
I
I think
agree.
it's really nice to just play a little bit and also do a lot of organic work because particularly certain platforms like LinkedIn and, as you say, Pinterest can still be incredibly strong from an organic point of view on social media.
I agree, absolutely. And you've got to know exactly what you're doing because you're up, once you start doing Facebook ads, you're up against these big corporations that are spending literally thousands and thousands of dollars every day.
Yep.
And so you've got to really know how you're targeting yourself on those things as well, because it's very easy to, I remember my illustration business prior to me becoming a coach, I thought, oh no, I'm going to go Facebook ad. And before I knew it, I was spending way too much money and I wasn't getting the result that I wanted. So you do have to be super careful about that.
Yeah, perfect. And something that I'm very passionate about, and I'll share it with the audience just in case anybody finds it of benefit, is that I think, I find I like to spend a little bit of money and target people that like my page or friends of people that like my page rather than do too much work building custom audiences and things like that. And the reason is people that know me, like me, trust me already are going to be far, not easier, but more likely to buy into what I'm saying or to have a conversation with me than me being another person out of 100 others that they don't know. So I think it's slower, but it builds a stronger foundation slowly. And before you know it, you grow.
I agree. And people don't want to be sold to.
True.
It's like everyone's out there pushing their products and people don't want to be sold to.
Yeah.
They want to know that they want to know you and the person that you are and how they want to, it's almost like you want your clients to come to you rather than you asking them to come to you.
100%. And that's what marketing is all about. That's what I always say. Marketing is when you attract the right customers to you, when through trust, through content, through credibility, and when they're ready, they'll come and buy or they'll ask buying questions.
Yes.
And then they're ready to have a conversation.
And
if you just
serving.
throw stuff down people's throats, they're just going to run away.
Right. I agree. And just serving, like I encourage my clients to serve. It doesn't matter if you're giving away really great advice. If you can help others and serve them on your community and serve them in your posts, that's what's going to create that authenticity. That's what's going to create that know, like, and trust factor that people want to come back and learn more about. Oh, this is great. This really helped me. I want to know how you can help me more.
And listening to you while you're saying that is so interesting and so true, is that someone might even come and reach out to you either via social media or in another form and just might ask you a question that's not even related to anything you do. But the fact that you helped them and took the time, they say, I like this person, I'm going to find out what they do and I'm going to buy from them.
So true.
Something so simple as that, where it's not that linear. We have to think about building businesses, always building trust in a non-linear fashion. It's not always that linear, and 1 + 1 doesn't always equals 2.
It is so true, Darren. I love that you said that because so many people I don't want to share this. It's like my proven secrets. You don't share everything because obviously you don't want to share everything. But I think even in life, it's about really serving and giving to others. You feel so good that knowing that you've helped somebody.
You so do. And everybody talks nowadays about the abundance mindset.
Yes.
And I really love that. I think it's so true that there's so much opportunity for everybody, and you can give as much as you can, and you will always come back to you in some way. Even as you say, because it'll it'll build a mindset in you and a confidence in you and a glow that will show when other people are looking for coaches and looking for what you do. So it has these ripple effects.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes you feel good. Like I know, like if you can become that person that's really helping others and you feel good about that, 100% it does come back to you. Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. So any other particular strategies or any other little tips that you want to leave us with, for people that are starting out in business and really just want to get their head in the right direction?
I think there's two things that I would love to share. And that would be as I mentioned before, to truly believe in possibility. Yeah. When you are doubting yourself, we all doubt ourselves, no matter how, profitable or how great our businesses are, we all doubt ourselves. But if we can come back to that possibility and truly believe it is possible, you absolutely open up so many avenues to grow. And the other thing that I find, this is hard, and I'll give you a little bit of a challenge to do this, is to become the person you are working towards becoming.
I like
so
that.
So you look at your goal, whatever that goal is, and you become that person now. Think like that person.
Love it.
Make decisions like that person. Be that person right now. Dress like that person. Become that person, and it changes your decision making in your business.
Oh, that is gold. And that's one of my favorite quotes. Sounds like you've just stolen that from him. His name is Dr. Paul Homily, I think. And he says, make every decision based on the person you would like to become. Yeah. I think that is just gold.
Absolutely. And it's worked for me. It's honestly, I've tried it and it works. It totally works.
Because it automatically changes the view that you have of yourself. And that's, as you say, it's so important.
Yeah. And it takes you out of impossibility to possibility.
Oh, love it. Beautiful. Love it. So Cindy, if people want to get in touch with you and organize some coaching, how can they get in touch with you? What's the best?
Oh, thank you. Okay, so it's really easy. I'm just under cindyshames.com. So my website is www.cindyshames.com. My Facebook group is Unstoppable Results.
Love it.
So, because that's what I'm all about, and I'd love you to join there. We do a lot of I help you promote. We do a lot of community. There's so much support in there. So absolutely. And on Instagram, Cindy Shames. So yeah, I would love you to reach out. Send me an email if you like, if you've got any questions, and I'd love to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, I'll put all the links to all those groups and pages in the show notes for everybody out there. And I hope everybody's had a fantastic time listening to Cindy and acquired so many great insights and experience, because I have. And I always like to ask my guest, anything else you want to share with us at the end? Anything you want to leave us with today?
Go out there and be unstoppable. Definitely create an unstoppable result every single day, because I know you can do it.
Well done. Fantastic, Cindy. So thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. For everybody out there, check out the show notes, check out Cindy's work. She'd be a great coach, and we'll have another episode of Playing with Perspective very, very soon. So bye for now.
Thanks,
Cindy.
Darren. Thank you.